Great. I'm gonna have one of those your eyes was closed images.
Probably.
And that was a video too. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Topic is Trek. We're about to start our show. Just a few preliminaries here. This is the show that, what do we do here again?
We talk about Star Trek because the
Star
topic
Trek.
is Trek.
The show that runs on impulse power.
The topic is Star Wars.
No, that's a different show. I'm sure somebody does that show, but that's not us.
Well, they owe us some license fees for those few words at the beginning.
We're gonna get
started
just in a minute. As soon as our esteemed leader gives us the green light.
I could put a green light on, but then I would key myself out. It would just be really weird. So,
Roxanne,
that's blue.
On the green light. The police are coming.
Oh my goodness!
There
Look,
you go.
the number of viewers is one of the characters in the story. 0.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I am all set here. I believe.
All set.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then let us commence in 3, 2, 1.
This is The Topic is Trek, episode 203 for Friday, June 5th, 2026. Coming up in this episode, Trek goes digital again. About Edith Keeler's death. We'll talk about that. Q makes more bad decisions. All that and more right now on The Topic is Trek. There goes the sun, aka Takan but not forgotten.
Welcome to The Topic is Trek, the podcast that runs on impulse power. Join us for a journey where no show has gone before. If it has to do with Star Trek, there's a good chance we'll talk about it sooner or later, because on this show, the topic is Trek. Engage already.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another thrill-packed edition of The Topic is Trek. I am Clinton, one of your co-hosts for the show, and in order to be a co-host, I have to have other hosts with me who are also co-hosts, but they're let's not get into all that. So first of all, beaming in to join me from parts unknown with the hip new catchphrase that you may possibly be talking about 5 minutes after the show is over is Mr. Craig Stepp.
Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
Okay, well, did you coin that phrase?
I did.
Oh,
that's right. About 10 minutes ago.
I see. I think you have a time machine then if you just did it 10 minutes ago. I feel like I've heard it. But anyway, also beaming in to join us from parts unknown is my other co-host and Craig's other co-host as well, Mr. Chuck Tomasi. Ooh, he gets the fancy transporter. Ooh.
The Klingon, yeah. I paid for Transporter Plus this month.
No,
wait, we don't have the budget for that.
No, we don't have the budget for anything. What are you talking about?
I think this is the first time we've had a subtitled show title.
Yes,
and it made me think of the Rocky and Bullwinkle show.
Well, that's actually there's the right there. There's the subhead right there. That's what I was thinking about when I put it in.
The Topic is Trek, episode 203, there goes the sun, Takan but not forgotten.
Wasn't that the name of that audio book that Nicholas Meyer did? I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. :
We might have to start thinking of more subtitles going forward. This is kind of fun.
Yes. Okay, so first things first is how are you, gentlemen?
Doing very well. How about you?
Yeah,
I'm doing pretty good.
I think I'm fully recovered from jet lag from going to Germany for a couple of weeks.
I think I'm fully recovered from my jet lag, going downstairs, getting something to eat, and coming back upstairs.
Yeah.
So that's
tell me about it. No, I'm doing pretty good myself. Just been hanging around here doing work, unlike you two guys.
Well, it's work is overrated. What can I tell you?
Right.
So Chuck and Craig have been kind enough to give me a couple of minutes to talk about something. I'm going to call this why don't we say this is like an away mission with an appropriate sound effect?
How about the sick bay scanners?
I think that's pretty appropriate for this
Yeah.
one.
I was gonna say, I think so.
Okay, so as I said, I asked Chuck and Craig if they thought this was okay, and they said, sure, go for it. So I wanted to announce that the day after the last episode of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert aired, I canceled my subscription to Paramount Plus.
What?
Yeah, I've been paying CBS All Access and Paramount Plus since August of 2017. So this isn't something that I just did on the spur of the moment.
Mhm.
When I canceled, I used the other reasons category to explain that between the rather questionable cancellation of their #1 rated late night talk show, the ongoing gutting of CBS News, including this was even before this week's 60 Minutes debacle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the seemingly dwindling support for streaming Star Trek, I could no longer support the service. The money I spent on Paramount Plus will now go to support the Wounded Warriors Project.
Oh, nice.
And I want to point out that first of all, they're a veteran service organization dedicated to the well-being of post 9/11 wounded, ill, or injured veterans and their families. But interestingly enough, journalistic investigations 10 years ago revealed that the charity was at that time spending only about 56% of its donations directly on veterans programs, causing the program to go through a complete overhaul. And today it has regained its financial footing, holds a 4-star rating on Charity Navigator, and maintains accreditation with the Better Business Bureau via independent audits. Oh, and look at one of the investigations that sparked that restructuring. It was conducted by CBS News. I wonder whatever happened to them.
Oh, this awkward.
Yeah. So going forward, when New Trek is on, I will re-up with Paramount Plus for as short a time as possible.
Yep.
And there are 3 reasons for that. 1, I helped pay for those episodes, so I want to see them.
Yes.
2, I want to send the message that I will support Trek on the platform.
Yep.
And 3, I will reiterate that every time I cancel again. So I don't expect everyone to follow my lead. And if you do cancel your subscription, be sure to be very specific, though, on why you have done so. Because I'd like to say that people only have power if you give it to them. Okay, now I'm going to get off my high horse here. Yeah, and back to the show.
I think we need to change
Riker.
our background graphic too, because it clearly says in the lower right-hand corner, CBS All Access.
Oh, yes, that's
Awkward.
that is a little, yeah, it's a little, that's a little Remember When segment right there. I'm telling you right now.
We set this graphic up like 6-7 years ago.
I know, right? Yeah.
All right, well, that out of the way. And again, thank you to Chuck and Craig for allowing me to have a few minutes there.
Absolutely.
We are going to attempt to do Subspace Chatter. And I say attempt because, first of all, we have to check in with Charlie X or Mirror Charlie. Never know which one we're going to get. I certainly don't. It's clearly sometimes I put up the wrong person. Anyway, let's check in. Charlie, are we all set to go with Subspace Chatter?
And we spin the wheel of Charlie's and get
Wheel of Charlie's.
You don't need all that subspace chatter.
It's that Charlie.
Happy
Grr.
Charlie.
Boo.
All right. Yeah, boo. Not too loud though. Remember, he can like wish us into the cornfield type of thing. So boo. Boo. That's better. That's better. All right, Chuck, you have the first story.
Well, Star Trek is boldly going into the world of digital comics. Paramount has partnered with Webtoon app to launch 2 brand new canonical comic series. There's a tongue twister for you. That expand on classic television lore. The first series, Stargazers, launched its first episodes in May 2026. Set on a post-war Deep Space Nine, this 40-episode series takes a lighter slice-of-life approach. It focuses on a young man named Leon navigating first love and station drama in a prominent boys love romance format while simultaneously uncovering an animal smuggling conspiracy. Releasing later this summer, the second series, Recollection, pivots to a darker mystery. Written by best-selling author Sam Maggs, this story follows an amnesiac woman who wakes up on a mysterious Federation vessel with 6 strangers and a tight-lipped holographic pilot. Desperate to piece her past together, both series will run for 40 episodes. You can find links to those and more at thetopicistrek.com. If you look under episode 203, there goes the sun.
Okay. And you are up next, Craig.
Yeah. So speaking of animation or art, Star Trek, as Star Trek officially hits its 60th anniversary in 2026, the television
Really?
frontier.
Wow,
Yes.
that snuck up on me.
I know.
Hey, don't interrupt me. I'm trying to read here. The television frontier might be slowing down, but the comic book universe is engaging at warp speed. On September 2nd, IDW Publishing is dropping a massive 60th anniversary special anthology packed with 7 new stories that span the franchise's sprawling timeline. Most notably, legendary original series scribe David Gerald is returning to multiply our headaches. Okay. And yes, I mean tribbles.
Hey, don't interrupt yourself. You're reading.
I am reading. All right. So fans of the modern era are also getting new material from Lower Decks creator Mike McMahon, alongside a highly anticipated prelude story that acts as a direct handoff from Picard. This looks to be the official comic book launch of Star Trek Legacy, meaning Captain 7 of Nine's adventures will finally boldly go forward on the printed page. It is an incredibly fitting tribute to 60 decades. 60 decades.
Yeah, 60 decades. That is a long time now.
Nobody
Clinton
can watch all
remembers
those
the beginning.
episodes.
Clinton was there when it started.
Yeah.
I feel old now. 60 decades.
That's right. No, incredible. It's 6 decades of the franchise. So you'll want to beam down to your local comic book shop and grab a copy before Gorn gets there first.
Oh my. Hey, I want to go back to something. I don't know if it is also true of this comic that we're talking about, but the Webtoons ones, I
Mhm.
noticed that Chuck said that it's canonical, which I'm not sure how to interpret that. So
Yeah,
are we,
that caught me off guard as well.
Yeah.
I'll have to go look into the articles a little deeper, see where the basis for that was. But that would mean it's supported by Paramount CBS.
I don't know. I mean, I know that the characters in the Webtoons are not characters we've seen before.
Right.
So from that standpoint, and I think they're really just meant to be in these Webtoons. Therefore, if they exist within the existing canon, there's no reason why they can't be canonical because they're not going to affect things one way or the other, I suppose.
Yeah, it's too late for Lower Decks to mention them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Maybe in the future sometimes. Who knows? All
Yeah.
right. Let us move on to the next story.
Oh, how I would like to read a story with new characters.
Yes, indeed.
He says, foreshadowing our book report.
Oh
Yeah.
my, yes, indeed. All
right.
right. So recently, Paramount Plus users spotted a bizarre AI-generated thumbnail for the classic film Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Instead of using a standard movie poster, the platform displayed an image of William Shatner's Captain Kirk wearing a business suit and tie, sporting a glowing red eye and a very strange AI-generated hairline. It appears Paramount Plus took a tight close-up shot of Kirk from the retinal scan scene in the movie and used generative AI to fill in the rest of his body, and the AI bizarrely decided to dress the iconic captain in corporate office attire.
Yeah.
A look he never actually wears in the film or any other of the films. Dubbed Terminator Kirk by one writer, the image highlights a growing frustration with streaming platforms relying on unverified AI generation. Paramount's new owners recently mentioned plans to use technology to transform their business. However, for fans paying for monthly subscriptions, having classic movies represented by awkward, inaccurate AI art is definitely not the upgrade they were hoping for.
Yeah. He looked like like some middle manager from the 70s.
He's got to get to TGI Fridays. You can't hold him too long there. So
Yeah, that looks nothing about that picture except for the center of his face. That's
Right.
right, correct.
it just screams future. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got for us, Chuck?
I have Strange New Worlds. Strange
Go
New
on.
Worlds co-showrunner Akiva Goldsman has revealed that his biggest regret for the series, a missed opportunity to bring back William Shatner. In a new interview, Goldsman shared that he desperately wanted Shatner to play an alternate timeline version of Captain Kirk. The proposed storyline would have revisited the classic original series episode, The City on the Edge of Forever. Instead of letting his tragic love interest, Edith Keeler, die to preserve the timeline, this version of Kirk would have chosen love over the future, saving her life. The narrative twist would have trapped Kirk, Spock, and Bones in the 20th century, resulting in a dark alternate reality where the Nazis won World War II and Starfleet was never created. While the ambitious crossover never made it to the big screen, fans can catch Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 4 when it premieres July 23rd on Paramount+.
So this is a weird one because, I mean, it would just be Kirk then, and if you can get not a name day, the woman,
Joan Collins.
Joan Collins.
Yes.
Thank you. I had the character name, but I wasn't getting the actress's name. But you couldn't have Nimoy or DeForest Kelly in it, and you wouldn't want to substitute in somebody else because what's the point of having Shatner then?
Right. And you don't want to AI your way out of that thing.
No, not after
That's
not
like-
after what they
already
just
saw
did.
Yeah, we saw what that looked like.
Why are they all wearing business suits? I don't understand. Well, they're getting
Looks
jobs.
like he had a
I
job
don't
at
know.
Radio Shack. It was
Yeah.
Well, time has gone by, so Edith Keeler would be wearing some hot 80s neon.
Yeah.
the 80s. And
So have to know more about how were they going to make that work exactly? What was the intent going to be there? But it never is going to come to pass. So we will pass and move on to the next
Hey,
story.
You
I
just
also
got
want
Bill sitting on the chair watching streaming TV going, yep, glad I stuck around for this.
yeah.
Totally worth it.
I wonder if somehow they would have worked that Otoy stuff in there with Sam Whitwer.
I don't know that it's a lot of it to do. I think like an entire hour's worth of the show to do that
Well,
stuff. So
Sam-
I don't know.
Remember in interviews after the unification video came out, he was kind of coy a little bit about there were some future plans with this, but
But
he wasn't very
also
com-
with that, I mean, you could have William Shatner do his lines, and they could use his lines, for any new dialogue. But the same is not true about anybody else. I mean,
Right.
except for Joan Collins, you couldn't have Nimoy or Dees do recording new stuff. You'd have to have sound-alikes, which there are sound-alikes, but it gets kind of weird,
yeah, maybe William Shatner would turn to go run down a hallway, and they cut to Sam in the digital CGI running down the hallway.
just for the action sequences, huh?
That's right. And the double punch. Oh,
I
Oh,
just,
man.
I just feel like this wouldn't work because Kirk, he has such conviction to Starfleet that he wouldn't have gone that direction in the first place.
Well, I think it might be might be a very depressing story. It could be one full of a lot of regret because
True.
yeah, he saved the woman he loved, but then he has to sit there and watch all the consequences of that.
So we get 4 seasons of him drinking himself blind.
Yeah, pretty much.
I could have done something more.
I used to be a captain.
Yes, dear. Of course you were.
Yeah, go back.
Shut
to
up.
sleep.
You must die.
Come on, Grandpa. Let's go back to bed.
You're going to die, Edith. It's too late.
Yeah.
The Nazis already won.
Well, it's a good thing we're done talking about James T. Kirk. Craig, your story?
I know. I think this overlaps a little bit. So, in the upcoming 4th season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, premiering on July 23rd, 2026 on Paramount Plus, will mark the beginning of the end of the prequel series as it sets up a 2-season handover of the Enterprise to Captain James T. Kirk. Showrunners Akiva Goldsman and Alex Kurtzman revealed that the 10-episode season will purely be episodic, with no big bad villain, opting instead to focus heavily on character-driven stories and the deeper connection between Spock and Kirk, following their season 3 mind meld. A major highlight of the season includes a highly anticipated, structurally complex episode featuring Captain Pike as a puppet. I think we saw the glimpse of that, of course, created by Jim Henson's Creature Shop, following a transporter accident. So we have Thomas Pike.
Thomas Pike?
No.
No, remember Bill Riker when he got split?
Ah, yes.
All right. So anyway, additionally, the showrunners shared that one of their biggest unfulfilled regrets of this multi-season was an attempt to write an episode that brought back William Shatner, as Chuck was just talking about, as an alternate version of Kirk.
I'm curious how they did the puppeteering for that episode.
I'm
Because
sure right after that, you're going to see a behind the scenes thing. They do that sometimes, you know?
Normally, when you've got Frank Oz doing Fozzie Bear or Yoda or whatever, he's controlling the mouth. So his talking and his hand are coordinated.
Mhm.
You don't have Anson Mount under that puppet.
Maybe you do.
Well,
How do you know that?
either you do, or it has to go one way or the other. They're doing the mouth movements based on audio that's already done,
Yeah, they would have to have already
or
done the audio.
they have to,
Or-
or they ADR after the
Yeah.
fact.
I was going to say they probably have somebody doing the lines and then they ADR'd it at the end.
Sounds tricky either way.
Mm.
Trekkie? Sounds tricky.
Yeah, tricky.
It's Trekkie to rock around. That's right. On time. It's Trekkie. Hey.
All right, and now in Vulcan, Alberta, Canada news, just getting on from that.
Thanks, Run DATA.
Hmm. This story involves a woman we have spoken about before.
Oh,
It seems Vulcan County's Jasmine Entz has taken her sweater making game up a level. Entz, who breeds miniature dairy goats, has crocheted sweaters for the kids, and that's the goats you see, to keep them warm when they're born, and started making them for adult goats using leftover yarn. Now she's making a series of sweaters for full-size cows. Quote, I thought it would be funny if I made one for the cow, said Ernst, who lives on the acreage. By the way, she is also making one for her horse and another for her record-setting steer, Beef. That's
his
right.
name.
This is the woman who owns Beef. You remember our story about Beef?
Oh, yeah.
Beef the cow.
Hey, by the way, I was just thinking the kids are probably like, ooh, I'm wearing mom and dad's hair.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross.
Well, they're not sheep. They're goats.
Yeah, they're goats.
I know. I'm sorry, goats. Yes. Does it matter? All right.
But
that's
at this
right.
point, no, it doesn't really matter.
Hey, Grandma. Granny Squares went out of style in the 70s. Man.
And a reminder that you can also, in the show notes for this episode 203, over at thetopicistrek.com, there goes the sun. We have a link to all the ratings we've given for Star Trek episodes, courtesy of listener Diane, and you can check those out and see the highs and the lows from things we have reviewed. I don't believe she has the books on there, and I'm not sure if she's going to be encouraged to do so after we get through with this one. But there's also an
epic.
Yeah, there's also 57 additional stories broken out by series and movies and other categories that you can check out over on thetopicistrek.com. Oh, was waiting for the ding that never came. There we go.
Now card.
We got
And
to
now-
get a new bell ringer.
I'm still fixated on that goat wearing a sweater.
Yeah.
This sweater humiliates us both.
But now it's time, fortunately, to say goodbye, Charlie.
I want to stay.
Later, dude.
Don't let the screen door hit you on the way out. And it's in a starship, so that's weird. Anyway,
Not as useful as a screen door on a starship.
exactly.
No, Biff. No.
All right, it's about
We just really crossed the streams on that one.
Yeah.
we get knee deep in it sometimes. For our main mission here, we need an appropriate sound effect.
Let's see. The Atavachron.
All right. Maybe we should have
Because it's
aligned these a
Mr.
little bit.
Ataz in his library going, I never put that book on the shelf. Where'd you
That's right.
That's riveting on the podcast. Listening to Chuck pause while he's trying to decide which sound effect to play.
A lot of thinking going on.
This button. No, this one.
Oh,
Okay.
This or nothing.
So who would like to do the honors and read about this book?
I'll do it.
A little bit of background here.
I'll do it. No problem.
Okay.
All right. So Star Trek: The Next Generation novel, Q Zone. This is the second of
right.
3 books in the Q Continuum story, published in August of 1998, written by Greg Cox. So the synopsis reads, while the Enterprise struggles to survive an alien onslaught, Captain Picard has been kidnapped by Q, surprise, surprise, and taken to an astounding journey back through time, that immeasurably distant moment when the Continuum faced its greatest threat. But far more is at stake than simply the mysteries of the past, for an ancient menace is stirring once again, endangering the future of the galaxy, that neither Q nor Starfleet may be able to stop it.
Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun.
Share your pain with me.
We are.
Yes. Well, funny you should mention that. Do we want to get that sticky point out of the way right off the bat here?
Go for it.
Okay, so in this story, let me see. I got to get to the right image here. We've already been introduced to Zero in the first book of these 3 books, so we know about them. Well, apparently that's not enough. He's going to call on some of his buddies to help him out at that point, and so he calls upon 3 characters that we just didn't expect to see, and probably
Ever again.
Yeah.
Probably we're very happy that was the case. Is this the right one? Yes. So here we go. This is your all-star lineup of people that Zero calls in. We have Gorgon, from And the Children Shall Lead,
Mhm.
Yep.
aka Melvin Belli.
We just call him Melvin from the rest of the book.
Yes,
It's
Melvin.
not as menacing. that way.
That's his secret identity.
In the middle here, that is called The One. And it is the godlike creature from Star Trek V. And lastly, it's now in the book, I don't know why, but they choose to have an open parentheses, an asterisk.
Yeah.
and a
What was
close-
that?
I don't know, because even Q says, well, it's also referred to as the Beta 12A entity.
It's
Hey,
easier to say asterisk.
Yeah, maybe so.
It was like a one of those text emojis for something kind of crass.
Yeah, right. It really was saying lots of things that were nasty, which you may recognize as what I like to call the pinwheel entity
Yes.
from the Day of the Dove episode. So you've got
That's right.
2 creatures from the 3rd season of Star Trek TOS and one from Star Trek V, with all the pantheon up to that point.
An all-star lineup.
I
It's like
mean,
It's like a bad Avengers movie.
yeah, the worst Avengers movie, I think, at this
Yeah.
point. Now they make it painfully obvious who these people are. Well, they call the Gorgon by name, and then Picard asks who they are. It's like, who's that one and who's that one? Like, it's like, okay, let's waste some more time in the book and let's just explain who's that one and who's that one.
Right.
So Gorgon and
The one.
the asterisk
Pinwheel.
defined as who they, I think even mentions the star date and or whatever for some of these things.
Yep.
But he gets tired of answering the question, so he never talks about who the one is. But it is painfully obvious from the way he talks, the way he dresses, the way he acts. This is clearly the Shakari character. And so oddly enough, I think we talked about when we were talking about the first book, and I had not read ahead, that I said, I'm getting serious vibes here of like Star Trek V with this, communicating. We have the professor communicating with something on the other side of the barrier.
Yes.
And my goodness. And I think one of us also mentioned the Gorgon in that as well. So it's like, why would you choose these?
I don't know. As soon as I read the lineup, I went, oh boy. Oh boy.
Talk about share your pain.
Let's spin the wheel of villains.
Yeah. And look, it landed on a between two. So we'll just split the difference.
It landed on lose a turn, and that's what
Yeah. Lose a turn. Do it again.
But this is a whole book that is previously, first of all, they spend time at the beginning talking about previously in this book.
Yeah.
For
In
like
the previous book.
like 3 pages worth of that, which is okay. If you're putting it together as a compilation, because I'm reading the one that's the compilation.
Yeah. You
Maybe
really
you can
don't
edit
need
those
that,
out.
please.
There's no need for
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that's in the compilation?
Yeah.
That's just,
Oh.
that's lazy.
That is just a cut and paste taken to the extreme.
Hey, I didn't need this catch up. I'm continuing to read the book.
I was reading it 5 minutes ago.
Last paragraph.
You think I forgot while I was going to the bathroom between chapters?
So in this book, your cutbacks to the Enterprise are almost identical to all the cutbacks you had to the Enterprise in the first book.
Yep.
They're being attacked by the Calmarine. They don't know what they're supposed to do. Shields are getting worse and worse. And, Barclay knows something, but he's not saying what it is. And they eventually lose gravity. And so that's like thrilling for like a second and a half. And then we're back to
little Q pop in and out. It gets very monotonous.
Yeah. So the only thing that happens in there is confirmation of something that we saw coming. And I think, again, I mentioned is that toward the end of the book, the professor, Lem Fall, is talking about the fact that he's communicating with the thing on the other side of the barrier.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. And clearly this author knows very well what Star Trek V was about.
Right.
So reaching in a little too deep into this story here. And that's all we get really on the Enterprise. The kid, the grown-up kid is hating his father now. And the father
He's losing it.
The father almost kills Deanna Troi.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to get out of sickbay to get to engineering, and he uses his hypo spray to inject his entire medication directly into Deanna Troi, and she collapses. But fortunately, she's in sickbay, and so Bev is able to give her an antidote to that. But
Bev, I like how your own first name, abbreviated name, basically.
Hey, if there's like the author doesn't take any shortcuts, I might as well. So
right.
Because I'm looking, I'm going through the book like several times, just looking for points about when I'm trying to make the graphics for this and like trying to get some plot points and going, okay, and here's where we describe a thing. Page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. And there's a response to the question. Page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. Seriously, there's like 2 pieces of dialogue over the course of 4 pages in this book sometimes.
Yeah, it felt really stretched out.
It is. I don't mind when, and this is part of reading versus watching, is you can get inside somebody's head. Riker said this, and as he was saying it, he thought blah, 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 blah. So you can get inside somebody's head in a book that you can't do on film.
Right.
But this was taken to the extreme.
Absolutely. So that's
Yeah.
all. That's all the news that there is about what's happening on the Enterprise. They go into the Great Barrier, and Barclay said, "Oh well, the gel pack that was in the probe absorbed some of this energy, so maybe we can, of course, now we get into the technobabble, but that's fine. That's
Yep.
to use, because now apparently Enterprise E has the same gel packs that are on Voyager."
Well,
So-
I figured that maybe there were Voyager, obviously was built before this, and some of that technology spilled over, so that kind
Right.
of made sense a little bit.
Right. So they're going to use it basically as a buffer with the deflector shield to kind of like take that energy and push it back out again to try to get away from the Calmarine by going into the barrier and using
They only went
this.
partway in. They didn't go
Right.
through. They went partway in, and they know it's going to affect people's minds, especially those that are susceptible to what was the
Telepathic.
cyanide
They have-
radiation, telepathic
Right.
messaging, that kind of thing.
And we kind of find out that Lieutenant the security officer Leoto,
Leoro, yeah.
she part of that enhancement that they were doing for their soldiers may have given her some of those type of abilities, so she's being affected by it more than some of the
Oh.
other crew as well. And Riker even feels like, because of his association with Deanna Troi, and I think he might have mentioned that he was, when he was like made a Q for partially, for one point, that he seems to be feeling it a bit more as well. So you've got several people, but they're trying to isolate the people that are betazoids in
Sick bay.
sick bay and give them medication to sedate them so that it doesn't affect them as much. But yeah, that's kind of it. And the rest of the story, matter of fact, the rest of the story barely involves Picard.
You're right. I was thinking the same thing. He hasn't. We are watching a whole bunch of these scenes unfold, and occasionally we get glimpses of his opinion. Like, Q, you should have seen that one coming. That's about all the dialogue he's got.
Exactly. So the
I
first,
was like, Picard's like, yeah, and what'd you expect?
so the first thing that happens is they go to a place where they encounter the Kulalacritus
Kulalacritus or something.
I'm gonna get this Kulalacritos.
Clinton, do
There
we
go.
need to call somebody? Are you okay?
I know I'm having issues.
He's
with
Kulalacritos intolerant.
Intolerant. Absolutely, I am.
Lactose intolerant.
And this turns out to be the Calmarine, and apparently they changed their name. It's the Istanbul, Constantinople, New Amsterdam, New York type
Yeah.
of thing going on here.
Zero and his band.
Mhm.
have
Well,
this
no, it's
idea.
just-
They want to test a species to see if they're.
Well, they haven't
good
gotten
at
them.
it.
There's not a band yet.
They haven't got the band yet. This is just young Q,
Oh, okay.
and Zero doing this. And so,
Oh, that's right. They were. Yeah, the other three weren't there yet.
right.
Mhm.
So he says, let's have some fun with them. And Q's trying to like, kind of do this little wacky thing and that way. Think, well, that's nice and all, but you really need to get in there. And so they go down into the cloud.
They turned
And-
themselves into basically
Right.
smoke.
Because we find out that when Picard says, "I suppose we're going into it," right? And he goes, "Oh, you know me so well, Jean-Luc." Over the course of 4 pages, they have the 2 lines of dialogue.
One word per page.
So they go in as well, and we discovered that I'm going to call them the Calmarine from now on.
Yes.
It's a bunch of different creatures or something. I mean, we don't really
It's
see
almost like
anybody.
a hive mind.
A hive mind, yeah. but
Different
literally just the mind.
consciousness is linked to them.
Because they were like a cloud in a race.
Yeah.
So they're having all these different conversations, debating things and doing art and poetry, and Picard is fascinated by it. But then Zero asks the question, well, can they travel faster than the speed of light? And they can. Well, that's very interesting. And so Zero decides, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to test them by making them do what I want them to do, to go this way and that way. And essentially he's going to use them as like his ride. because he doesn't have that ability any longer, apparently, to go faster than the speed of light. Q is helping him pop around in different places. So he extends himself around the entire cloud and starts squooshing it together and forcing the cloud to go one way and the other way. And they start to rebel against that. And so they expand out to the point where he's like so thin that he just like pops kind of, and just like, he like, it all heats up. And when he lets go, his outfit he's wearing is all steaming and everything. So that's the end of the Q says, that's the end of that. Okay, great. So they got away, aren't they clever? And he says, no, they're not getting away with that.
Yeah.
And he proceeds to basically almost kill them by compacting them and compacting them and compacting them down tighter and tighter and tighter. And the voices get smaller and smaller and smaller. And while he's doing this, Picard notices that he's hearing an accent in Zero's voice he hadn't noticed before. He's seeing like a second entity there. He's seeing these tendrils or something coming out of Zero, but as soon as he snapped out of it, they go away again.
Yeah,
So
that
there's-
was intriguing. I from a physics standpoint, I think they got the physics backwards. As the gas would expand, it would get cooler, and as you compress it, it would get hotter.
That's true.
Right. And in this one, it was the exact opposite.
Yeah. So
Hey,
he
well-
crushes them
well, these
down
are-
to
These are all powerful aliens. They can do whatever they want.
That's right. They don't need no.
there's
This was early in the universe before we had those laws.
yeah, gravitational constant was much different back then.
Yeah.
They so they're frozen in what we suspect is suspended animation, and he says that's okay. In 5 million years, they'll drift by a star and warm up and go
Expand.
back to their old selves, which now explains why they were so mad at Q when he lost all his powers.
Right. And he apparently didn't learn a single thing from it, because Picard asked him about it. He goes, oh, they just have no sense of humor. They're fine. But boy, they hold a grudge.
Yep.
Great. So that, Picard says, well, there's the Q I know in that.
Yeah.
So now they go to the Guardian of Forever because, well, let's have some more fun. And I need some pals with me.
Some
And I
drinking buddies.
Yeah.
I get a feeling he tired of Q very quickly, because Q was not that much into what he was doing. And so he says, I'm going to get somebody else to join me in here. And that's where we get our three lovely friends who come along. And now you've got four of them, and they're saying, okay, what are we going to do next? Oh, Q. And
Louie and Louie.
so he's
Yeah. They
trying to
asked
think
Q
of
to
something.
they asked Q to pick a race.
Right. And so he says, well, there's the Takan Empire. And they go, great, let's go.
Again,
then-
drawing from previous episodes. Like,
Yeah.
this was mentioned. And while I'm all for revealing backstories about these things that were just mentioned here and there, I like that. This, again, they gave us the background on this race to painful depths.
This was not an episode I thought we'd be revisiting. The last outpost from TNG.
Well, look at the all-star lineup. I didn't expect us to be revisiting any of that either.
We're everywhere. That's right.
Yeah. So we go through we start from the second year of the reign of the Empress of Takan. The second half of the book is up to her 50th year of her reign when the
Mhm.
story comes to its conclusion. And we have chapter after chapter of this, and you barely get any dialogue between Picard and current day Q. It's all told from the standpoint of the Takan Empire.
Yep.
And you get to see the havoc that is wreaked by these three entities over the course of that 48 years, where one example is
Well, it started out when the Empress was a little girl, and
right,
this ripened fruit was falling from the skies, and
which was just a Q kind of like, well, it's a clever thing to do. Oh, that's
It was
that's
early
pretty
Q.
amusing.
yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I'll just throw some tomatoes at them.
So
Pretty
we have we have the asterisk creature doing what he does best, because after Gorgon has stirred everybody up into like this civil war, you have the two sides engaging each other in battle in space, and they keep regenerating again and again. So now we're retelling the story of the Day of the Dove again.
Yep.
Another time. As I mentioned, Gorgon, he infiltrates the populace because what's happening in the Khan Empire is that their star is dying, and it's going to eventually expand out and envelop the inner planets, including the home planet of the Empire. So their plan is to what they call the Great Endeavor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is to put a lattice around their sun and a lattice around another sun in an uninhabited solar system. I'm not sure if they had a solar system for that sun. Maybe it might have just been a sun. And to simultaneously or almost simultaneously take their sun and move it off to a distant spot and replace it with this other sun. So that is the Great Endeavor, which is obviously taking up a lot of resources for this empire, but everybody's bought into it. But Gorgon has found this one guy who gets mentioned actually in the first chapter when they give this report about the state of the empire. Well, this is one person who on this world to refuse to pay his taxes. That's the same person we meet like in 20 years later who's doing this thing.
Yeah.
So he puts a bug in his ear and tells him what to say to really stir the crowd up, and the civil war starts within the empire.
Basically, the young people say, hey, we don't care about saving the past. We want to define the future. And, the old people are saying, what are you talking about? We are the future, but they get put down. And that one I thought was fascinating. The one about being regenerated almost went to an episode of DS9 where Kai Wynn was stuck. They beamed down to the planet and they said, if you get killed, you have to stay here because you're going to get regenerated and you can't leave the planet because we're just here to do battle over and over and over again and get killed and come back to life and kill. So it was sort of their own.
Yeah. They kind of did that in TOS. And
right. Well, that's the Day of the Dove episode.
Yeah, Day of the Dove episode. So there's a lot of repeated themes here.
Right. I mean, I did think that was interesting because we don't see any modern parallels to that story whatsoever. But anyway,
one more.
Hey, I heal quickly. Is that
the whole Great Endeavor?
Yes.
There's another planet which I thought was where Gorgon was stirring up the rebellion. Rom.
Yeah, that was where that scene takes place, where they topple the statue of the queen.
Yeah, so there's at least two planets involved, and we're saying they're in the same solar system. So their entire empire is in the same old solar system.
No, I don't know if they're in the same solar system because the empire is a large empire. I think they're on some other, but everybody in the empire is contributing to this endeavor.
Is nobody out of range of this supernova?
It's not a question of whether they're out of the range of it. It's a question of saving that world, their home world.
Okay, the home world. So,
right.
Because my understanding was the Takan Empire was gone.
Right.
And if it was such a massive empire, surely somebody would have been to quote Star Wars, they'd be on the outer rim or someplace, that was out of reach of this exploding star.
You bring up an interesting point, a side note that I have in here, because the author actually does something that is true in the future of Star Trek.
Ooh.
What? The author indicates that the Charon are still around. And we see them in Star Trek afterwards. So he got one thing in there that was new to him to be talking about. How about that?
Was one of them.
And the one is wreaking havoc by, raining hellfire down on planets, causing mountains that were clearly, dormant volcanoes to erupt and destroy worlds. And so he's taking over the airwaves of all the not call them radio stations, but all the psi stations that you can get from the chips in your head, and just
Mhm.
this constant barrage of, repent. And even if you repent, it doesn't matter because all is going to be destroyed, blah, 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 blah.
He's on all frequencies.
Right.
So everything is clearly going to heck in this thing. And the queen slowly is realizing, because apparently the ancient ancestors had these seer abilities for telling the future or having visions. And she kept having visions of these creatures and like this influence from outside. And she finally convinced everyone that, look, the Great Endeavor is ready to go. There's no more money to spend on it. It's done. We're just flipping the switch.
And we came in on budget.
That's right. And on
And there
time, I
was
don't
much-
know, but we under budget by
There was much rejoicing.
by a
Yeah.
buck and a half, but still.
Yeah, we had a buck and a half left over. Who wants it?
Yeah. So why don't we just, you get a pardon. I'm not gonna hold this grudge against anyone. Then there'll be repercussions. But if we can just stop, because this is about to happen, and everyone agrees, okay, well, the money, we can't get that money back now. So, the people that are on the other side go, okay. And everyone comes to watch this actual process happen, because now is the day for it to happen. And so Q was saying, well, look, they've passed your test. Isn't that great? You did all these things to almost
Mhm.
destroy them. And look how clever they've
Yay.
they've
Yay, we're
encompassed
great.
this sun. And
Zero says, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, that's right.
what do you mean by that?
He walks out with a black turtleneck and some black jeans.
That's right.
But wait, there's more. One more
So-
thing.
So what does Zero do there, Chuck?
He reaches into the star that they're trying to transport and basically cancels the whole operation and causes it to go supernova way before its time. Like
Hundreds of years
now.
before. Yeah.
And all the scientists are going, I can't believe the readings that we're reading, but we're doomed.
Yeah.
And they were. And kaboom, everything went bust. And Q was frantically trying to stop them. Gorgon and the One restrain him. In fact, they moved him. They were actually blown way back when this thing went kaboom. So there was a reaction to them, even though you'd think they'd be impervious to this. But
Especially since he reached inside the star to,
in the explosion, Q was separated from his captors, and I forgot, did he escape, or it didn't end well?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially for the Deccan Empire, it didn't end well. And then, the queen kind of like had a bad day that day.
Yeah.
There's no 51st year of her reign, let's put it that way. At that point. So
So
Well,
Q kind of realizes that it's all rigged anyway.
yeah,
Everything
because it was like, oh, you're realizing that now? You didn't realize it before with the Calamarain. And I think that's one of the things that's bothering me about this story up to this point is we're retelling the same
Theme.
in
How stupid. How
work your
stupid
way
is Q?
in, right? Work your way in, do this thing, then say you're going to do this other thing, and then when it doesn't work out, then you get really mad and you just blow it up.
Well, I think something I kind of was trying to understand is why would they act like this? And for a creature that's infinitely old, it's been
Mhm.
around for so long, the loss of life of one group of people is not that big of a deal because he's seen so
Yeah,
many.
they did rationalize that towards the end. They said, that the missing of the Deccan Empire is not going to change the future significantly.
Yeah.
Like, well, how do you know?
Yeah, trust me, just trust me.
Well, they're not here, so
So the only good thing about this book, as far as I'm concerned, is we had subplots that actually finished. Right, that the whole
mhm.
Deccan Empire story is told in the second half of that book
Yeah.
all the way through. But we have spent so much time going through Q's greatest hits and, Q's life lessons.
Yep.
2 books worth so far.
And John Luke is, I would dare say, he's no closer to getting an answer. But he said, "Is this all you came to show me? Was your greatest hits?" And he goes, "Wait, you don't understand. I have one more." It's like, wait, there's one more thing. Wait, there's one more thing.
Yeah, every time he says that. Now, this is where it gets interesting. And we go, you can't prove that by us,
Right.
If this were a screenplay, it would have been cut significantly down.
Even as a book, I mean, the descriptive narrative on it sometimes is just way too long.
Yep.
And you didn't need to have so many cutbacks to the Enterprise when there was nothing going on.
Nothing new going on. Yeah. We wrapped it up in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. 5 minutes.
Any other thoughts about?
The other good thing is we're through book 2.
There was
Now
just
it's time for the conclusion.
well, it was just so much,
In
'cause-
3D.
yeah, that was my thing was, they had everything that referenced everything. It was,
Mhm.
it was like what's the movie, everything
All
everywhere
at once. Yeah. Except
All at
this is
once.
everything everywhere over a long period of time again and again.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. And
And the question
it's-
remains,
yeah.
we're pretty sure it's 0 outside the galactic barrier, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's gone a little loopy in the head with his sing-song rhyming thing. Lemfall is in touch with him. We
Right.
don't want him to get loose.
And he's
The-
losing his mind already.
the Calamarain don't want to get loose. Of course, they've gone away apparently since Enterprise is hiding out. There was a typo in the book when Kendall was reading it. They should have referred to the Enterprise as the little silver bug.
Oh yeah.
It was the little sliver bug.
Oh.
Did you go back and go, what?
Cute. Cute.
Yeah.
So we have to figure out, and honestly, I think this part could have happened in book 2, is what happens to the whole Barrier Enterprise 0 situation. Ultimately, we're going to find out that the one gets trapped in the galactic core. I'm not
Mhm.
sure what happens to the other 2 goons, and somehow what happens to 0. So I think book 3 is going to wrap up a lot of long-standing loose ends.
Yeah, it's going to have to.
I don't know. Based on this book, I wouldn't count on it.
Well, it's the last one. So it's
Right.
Yeah,
Well-
they may have planned on more.
Yeah, well, don't plan too much. Don't
We
put
got-
all,
well, it is the
don't put all your eggs in that
continuum.
basket, pal. I'm telling you that right now.
Craig, Star Wars episode 1, 2, 3. I'll stop there.
Well, I mean, it is the Q continuum. So I guess
That's
it's
right.
Yeah.
It goes on and on, but please, not this book doesn't go on and on. Anyway. All right. So what are we going to rate this on? Did we agree on something?
Supernova black holes.
Yeah, sure. Let's go for that. Why don't you go first, Chuck?
Oh boy, this is probably gonna be my lowest rating of anything anywhere. I'm giving this a solid 2.
Mm.
I had a 2-week trip to Germany in between starting it and ending it, and maybe that's why it felt so long.
No,
But
that's
it
not
felt
why. That's not
really
why.
long. It felt really long, and every time I picked up the book, I went, "Oh God, please something happen now." It was just
This ebook
was-
feels heavy.
it was a groaner. I've never been so reluctant to pick up a book that wasn't, some business book recommended by a manager for me to read. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I really don't want to read this, but I have to for the podcast.
Chuck, here's your employee handbook. And we want you to read it by Monday.
Yeah.
2 supernovas for this one.
Okay. I'll double that. I will say I'll give it 2 as well. The only positive points I see in it is I did like some of the structure about how they unraveled the Empire.
Yeah.
It went on way too long.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I can't give it everything for that, but it's the only thing I can hold on to say, is it worth anything? So I would say, yeah, I'd give it the 2 supernovas for that.
The history of the Takan, again, I like pulling on those threads that are mentioned somewhere in canon that you can go, let's take a dive into that. Let's make a story
Mhm.
out of that. This took it to an extreme.
Yeah, it was too much. So, I'll give it. I'm sorry, were you done, Clinton?
Yeah, 2. I did. Yeah, I did it too. Yep, I'm done.
All right, so I'm. I was going to give it a low score. I was thinking more like a 3, but I think we're all kind of in line. Same thing. It's too much, too long, and there's some places that like Chuck was saying, it was tedious to, or Clinton, you were saying it was like 4 pages of stuff, and you go, yes, I'll take that. It's
Yeah.
like,
You guys aren't going to let me pick up any more free books, are you?
right.
Maybe
this
there
the
was a
original?
reason that it was
That's right.
free.
Yeah.
I want to know who has the other 2.
Oh yeah,
I have the 3rd one.
you can find out on the next Star Trek cruise.
That's right.
You can have this back. It's unused.
Yeah, take it back. You got to take it back.
Out of my head too, please. Anyway. All right. Well, that's our ratings for this book. If you have read this book and have a different point of view on it, we're certainly glad to hear from you. We've got some information about how to get in touch with us at the end of the episode, including giving us a call if you'd like to do that.
Someone's going to take this paperback book and go, are the pages water damaged? Yes, those were the tears I cried.
Tears, blood, sweat, and tears that you go through to get through the book.
Oh, it's better than Tower of Power, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Well, anyway, that's another one. Kids, ask your parents. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Right.
about time to try to refill the dilithium chamber and get on out of here. You can find me, Clinton, at Comedy Forecast, all one word with the number 4. I do a short form scripted comedy podcast with characters and full production values. So it's not 2 people sitting around or 3 people sitting around talking like some shows. Oh, wait.
That's like, wait a
That
minute.
includes this includes this show and my segue to the next show. But no,
That's our thing. But
I only mentioned that because I was talking with a relative the other day, and their impression, because I said I did a podcast, was what their, and I said, well, no, this is not that type of podcast. It's more like old time radio. It's a radio production type of thing for that show. So that's what Comedy Forecast is. But who speaks for you guys?
Chuck does.
We are that morning time drive show.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you,
are the
John.
2 guys yammering at each other.
That's right. That's our shtick.
Yeah.
As much as I really didn't want to start a podcast like that, that's what it ended up being. Two yahoos talking about tech and science and all kinds of fun stuff in between. So you can find us by searching for Technorama Podcast, wherever you find podcast or in your favorite search engine.
Wait, Chuck. So you're saying you want to take back the last 21 years?
No. I said it was an unexpected journey.
Okay.
Like
Oh.
reading this book. Anyway.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
do want to take the book back.
All right, it's time to hit the theme, boys. If you like the show, please be sure to tell a friend about it and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on Blue Sky at The Topic is Trek. Visit our Facebook page, or you can call us at 816-TREKKER. That's 816-873-5537. Until next time, on behalf of Chuck, Craig, and myself, I'm Clinton, thanking you for listening. And as we always say here on The Topic is Trek, don't put on
Put on that
red
shirt.
shirt or read this book.
We'll be here all week at Quark.
Haha, Trogdor strikes again.
Book 3.
He burninated the Takan.
He burninated the sun.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up the video here. So thank everyone for watching. We're going to be back in a couple of weeks with book number 3. I know you'll be waiting for it. I know you will.
With ratings like the last one, how could you go wrong?
It could surprise.
The only direction is up. Well,
That's right.
we did
I was
rate
a-
2s, so
I
there
was
is.
going to
a
say
little
2
bit-
went down lower than 1, but still, we always have hope, right?
Let's call
right.
Kalshi and bet on our book ratings.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Everybody.